Hey guys, Donway601, and today we are taking a look at the Agincourt. This is going to be kind of a preview just because I don't want to do my full review of a Tier 3 battleship. I will just say, very strong boat. We'll go over the stats, you'll see. But Tier 3 Agincourt, a ship that you can get for absolutely free. We'll go over how to get it, and then go over the stats, show off a game in it, and it'll be a good time. So if that sounds good, let's just dive on in with first things first. Let's go over how to earn it. And you couldn't miss it if you tried, because on the home screen we now have this giant banner that says "The Hunt for Agincourt." You can open the calendar, basically play every day and complete the challenges, and you will be able to earn the Agincourt for free. I do believe if you miss a day, you are able to go back and purchase the day for 250 doubloons. And just something to note, like today, the first day, it was play a battle, win a battle, and be top 4 in two matches. And you get small rewards or big rewards depending on the things. But just note, those challenges do change every single day, so make sure you stop in and see. For example, here we have to hit the citadels of ships 7 times. Like there are changes throughout. You want to be kind of noteworthy. Now, if you don't have the 7 days, I would say next week would be the week you want to play all 7 days just to get yourself a free insignia, because of course those things, they can be tough cookies to get your hands on. So that's how you get the Agincourt. I think it's really nice. Definitely some really good rewards scattered throughout there. So, free stuff is always good. As far as our build, we're running aiming system mod 1. There's only 1 mod slot on this ship. We are running Charles Madden. I'm running Megatron and Angelo Lacino. Yeah, Gino. I say it wrong, and I'm sorry. But I think you can do pretty well in the ship no matter what you try. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. Survivability, 43,500 hit points. Armor thickness between 13 and 305 millimeter. Torpedo reduction, 14%. Artillery, the star of the show, 7 2-barreled. So 14 305 millimeter guns with firing range of 12.9 kilometers. Reload time of 31.5 seconds. That's why we're running Brawler, because the reload time on these guns is massive, but you have 14 of them, so you kind of understand why. 180 time, 33.5 seconds. HE shells, 4,400 with a 31% chance to set fire, 8,100 damage on those shells. Secondary armament, well, 5.2 kilometer range, which is decent for tier 3. Maneuverability of the vessel, 21 knots, turning circle 670 meters, and a rudder shift time of 13.4 seconds. You may notice something. We're not talking about anti-aircraft armament. That's because it has none. And, well, that is definitely a weakness of the vessel. A lot of Tier 3 battleships don't have it, but you're going to come up against aircraft carriers nearly every single match, so be warned. 12.1 kilometer detectability by sea, 9.8 kilometer detectability by air, and a 9.4 kilometer detectability when firing in smoke. We'll go ahead and take a look at that armor, and you can see she a squishy one. She's squishy if you don't angle correctly, because 19 millimeters up top means, well, you only need 272 millimeter guns to overmatch that, i.e. she can overmatch herself through the bow. So kind of far away shots, you want to be angled. That's going to be your best chance of surviving. But even then, bow and stern kind of coated in relatively weak armor. And then we can go ahead and take a look at the Citadel. Below water, kind of a weird shape, but you're gonna get chunks taken out of you. You absolutely are in this ship. So that's everything you kind of need to see about Agincourt. I will say, her camo looks absolutely stunning, and I really appreciate her for that. She's a good looking ship when it comes to that camo. But beyond that, let's go ahead and jump into a game with her. So welcome to Hotspot with Agincourt. We spawn mid, so we kind of just have to choose which way we want to go, and usually I'd like to play that left-hand side, but I feel like a lot of times we're going to get overpowered on the right here, and given our lack of range, it's not like we're going to be able to fire across the map and get some good crossfire. So our plan, push towards B, try to help take B, then we can, go from there. We'll see how things start to pan out, and we'll play it from there. As we can see, enemy team, similar strategy. They look like they are going to try to overmatch, or not overmatch, but flood into B, put the majority of their resources into that. So it's a good time it's a good call we came here. Agincourt, what can I say about her? I think, one, for a tier 3, she's incredibly strong, and she's going to become one of the go-to ships at the tier. And that's just because of the sheer number of rounds that you can put downrange. Visby here, he pops out. We're like, hello! Just look at those shells. We miss nearly all of them because he turns out. But let me tell you, it's a great amount of fun. The one downside, of course, is the incredibly long reload. If you don't choose to run a brawler build, you are looking, I think it's like a 35 or a 36 second reload, which is fairly substantial. It puts you in a very weird position because it makes you go out of sync with the rest. Kaiser, we got a pretty good angle on him. Let's see if we can do anything. I think he slows down, but we still get a decent chunk. But the long reload, especially when you're up in that like 36, 38 second reload window, it kind of puts you out of sync with everyone else. Battleships tend to have like a 30-second reload in this game. So the flow of a battleship battle between two battleships tends to have a certain rhythm to it because you both have a similar reload time and it's such a substantial amount of time. The 38 seconds just puts you out of sync of that rhythm. And like, yes, that could be a good thing because the enemy doesn't know when you're going to fire. Maybe thinks you're holding your shots. You know, it definitely gives you time to drop off radar if that's something you want to do, or drop off of the drop spots if you want to play at range. But it does make it a little more difficult to play just because, yeah, you're just out of that sync, you're out of that rhythm, and it does tend, to me at least, to feel a bit detrimental. Iron Duke come around the corner here. We're going to see what we can do, maybe. Kind of check Kaiser, see if Kaiser was going to turn, see what he's up to. Of course, we hold too long. Only our nose turrets get out. And that's something that does happen a good chunk of time with Agincourt, is like, you'll have the symbol saying, yeah, everything's good. Like, everything will go over, but like, the ship is so long and the guns are spread so far wide that like sometimes not all of the guns will quite get out there, or just some of the guns will make it through the ridge. Like if it's a U-shaped ridge, you'll just get the middle guns. It's very weird. One other thing I do have to say with the guns of Agincourt, the penetration just doesn't seem to get there sometimes. I know some of these shots are long range and you lose penetration over range, but sometimes it just feels like you're not getting the pen you would expect from battleship guns. At first, I was running Zerlane Nelson with Big 7, which does, of course, reduce penetration values. That's where I first started to notice it. So I was like, okay, let me switch off into MADDEN just to try to get those penetration values back up, see what we can do. But, you know, 2 salvos into that Gangut, and we did okay damage. We didn't do great damage, but we had its broadside. I felt like we probably should have done a little bit more damage. Anyways, we're going to turn our attention back to this middle point, where some of the ships have absolutely gotten wrecked, and we'll absolutely take it. We're going to see if we can finish off this Kaiser, because he's coming in at, he's holding that decent angle test. We'll go ahead and put shots out onto him. As we can see, once again, the sheer amount of rounds downrange is just absolutely fantastic. Now Königsberg, he's going in for the run on our friendly Congo, you know, close range with the torps. Good on him for getting the torps off, and he's going to probably end up taking out our Congo there. We're waiting, trying to get our shot, because of course Königsbergs do tend to be a bit of floating citadels, so we get our shots out, and well, yeah, just the slitherists of health left. And I want you to notice his health right here, because you know, when you're down in the lower tiers, you do see some weird things, and we'll point it out. But I want you to note his health there, and then when we see him again, you'll notice something strange about his health, which tells me he's not running an optimal commander build for the class that he's playing. Anyways, Kaiser's nose into us. We're gonna see if we can get some pens into him. Absolutely do. We knock him off the board. Excellent. That means we're just in the center hotspot area is just controlled by 2 cruisers. We can absolutely deal with cruisers. Some would say it's our speciality, especially we know that one of those cruisers does not have much health remaining. So we're going to play just a little cautious here. because I believe Crancy's do have torpedoes that would absolutely ruin our day. So we want to not have to charge too far into them. We see Crancy right there recognizes that we are not charging in dead on. He decides take the cover. Absolutely good play on his end. We'll go ahead and take this moment to re-engage, and of course we get slapped by Giulio Cesare right there, and he becomes our new big threat that we need to deal with, that we need to handle. We'll go ahead, try to start angling into him, but of course there's only so much we can do, right? We've already talked about this, but the bow of the ship, not exactly the strongest, and most ships will be able to overmatch you. So, you know, we can try to get it angled so that it hits in the midsection. If it hits in the midsection, we have the chance to ricochet. That's what we're kind of hoping for. We're kind of checking, seeing if we're going to be able to, try to hit some of these cruisers that are being spotted. Our poor DD is, at this moment, being surrounded. We flip over to the HE, try to get something done with the HE. One hit, 2 shatters, nothing real great right there. We flip back over to the AP, start to get the guns rotating. Of course, because there's such a menagerie of the guns, and also the majority of guns are front-facing, like, preferenced. So the rotation on him does feel relatively quick. This does make it feel like this boat is meant to try to, like, fight at a forward angle as opposed to over the rear. But Crancy goes down right, or the Königsberg goes down right there. And if you notice, he had a bunch more health than he once had. I think he's running will to rebuild. We take another massive hit from Giulio Cesare, and we are hitting it full reverse, because once again, Crancy Krim, even with short-range Russian torps, I think we are well within the range to get messed up. He gets bonked on the nose by a torpedo, and we are just waiting on our reload to try to finish him up. One salvo in, just some straight overpen, so we are going to do the tried and true method of when in a battleship at close range with a cruiser, try to aim just below the waterline, and hopefully some of those shells dip, arm, and explode in the hull. And that's what we have right there. Torpedoes from Crancy coming in right here. We'll say, "Olé, my good sir." And now we're going to go ahead and try to start playing the long game here. We are down 3 ships to 2, and we are still tied as far as capture points go. So we're going to take this moment for 2 reasons. One, Giulio Cesare has taken it out of us, right? We're down to 8,000 health. We have 2 heals in the bank. So it doesn't make sense to try and push the objective, push the engagement at this moment. Instead, take the moment, reset, let the repair party come back up, get another heal off, try to get some more hit points going, try to get the next repair party starting to cycle. Also, number 2, get the capture done. That way, while we already have a positive points gap to the enemy, we can start to expand it by having a 2-to-1 capture ratio. So that's gone on. Giulio Cesare, I think, has decided, 1, there's 2 battleships over here. He doesn't want to deal with the 2 battleships. Instead, he's going to try to go deal with the singular battleship. And we're like, you know what? That's fine. That's going to give us an opportunity to try to get some crossfires off. You saw there, we got just a ton of ricochets. If we had held a little bit longer, we would have had a bit better time with being able to engage him. But Giulio Cesare, we're starting to get those shots in, and we're just going to start kind of engaging him. Try, because we now have this crossfire support, I think it's an October Revolution out there, and just try to make it so that they don't gain. There's not a 100-point swing from anyone quite exactly going down. Now, if he does end up taking out our enemy ship, we need to kind of be honest with ourselves in Agincourt. I don't think we can easily take out Giulio Cesare, and also now a full health Congo. So, personally, my plan right now, given the positioning of the 2 enemy ships, is if they take down October Revolution, we are going to turn tail and run. There's only 3 minutes remaining in the match, and you can see just what Congo can do to us. We'll go ahead, give him an HE salvo that we were preparing for Giulio Cesare. Thankfully, we didn't waste it on him, as October Revolution does take Giulio Cesare down, so we're a bit more confident. We get the high cal right there, and we start singular fire, and it's going to burn. He's not going to damage con it, which is going to be nice. But at this point, the calculus would have been probably turn tail and run. We probably aren't going to stand up too well to tier 4 battleships. And if we want to secure the win, we don't want to risk it for the biscuit and go for that win. You know, that would have been the solution. But now that there's only one enemy ship, you know what? It's time to try to push. Of course, we pull the Confederate right there, which is nice. But we will now try to start to chase the Congo. But he ends up going behind the island. So I'm just going to go ahead, cut it off here. But guys, that's the Agincourt. I think it's a fantastic ship. The tons of guns is tons of funds. You know, relative weak armor. I think it is kind of that tier 3 glass cannon, if you will. You know, the tons of guns are very much countered by the fact that it does have very overmatchable bows, and you just need to be on the lookout for it. But overall, I quite enjoyed it. Guys, if you liked the video, go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.